Alright. Firstly, my points will be about how the propaganda war is more important, is also as important as the ground war happening on the ground, and also how actually the introduction of brothels in wartime area will actually reduce productivity, not increase them. But before that, let me move on to my rebuttals. Firstly, the whole point about rape, how introduction of brothels will actually decrease rape. Now, ladies and gentlemen, use a little bit of common sense, alright? Sex experts says that a healthy marriage will need a few sexual sessions a week. Now, we understand that soldiers go out to small camps, and they don't just stay there for a day. They stay there for weeks, for months. Ladies and gentlemen, these guys have sexual desires. We understand that. But if we give them this little benefit, we give them this little temptation of prostitutes in main places, ladies and gentlemen, don't you think they will have higher sexual desires, ladies and gentlemen? Don't you think they will be hornier, ladies and gentlemen? Don't you think because of that, the rape cases will be higher, ladies and gentlemen, because they cannot control their desires, and because of that, they will rape the local woman near the small camps, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you agree with that? Yes.
So, rates of rape are least in states and nations that have legalized prostitution. Why? Because these individuals have
Alright, thank you. Well, rates have been lower in places where there's prostitution. However, in small camps, you have already conceded to the fact you will not have brothels in small camps, and they will be in these small camps for a few weeks, a few months, and because of that, there will be no prostitutes there, and they will not be able to release their sexual desires, and therefore they will rape the woman near the small camps, ladies and gentlemen. Now, on the point of female troops being harassed and sexually harassed, ladies and gentlemen, the status quo has already solved this problem, ladies and gentlemen. This problem has already been addressed with court action, martial action, where they are heavily punished, even worse than a civil court, ladies and gentlemen, because these are unforgivable acts in the military unit, ladies and gentlemen. So let me move on to my first point, which is how the propaganda. Let me move on to one more rebuttal, which concerns on the image. Alright. Well, side opposition say that an image of the country is not as important as the soldier being focused on the field. Alright. Let's just say even I don't agree with this, but let's just say after sex, the soldier is 100% focused. Do you think that the soldiers win the war, ladies and gentlemen? No, the soldiers do not win the war, they just help to win the war. The propaganda war is another part of war that is very, very relevant in a war, ladies and gentlemen. They think that a soldier will become a super soldier once they have sex. Sex fulfillment is something of a drug, something of cocaine that actually gives them these supernatural abilities, ladies and gentlemen. But that is not the case, ladies and gentlemen. After sex, do you feel like you can, or maybe you feel like you can fly, but can you actually fly after you have sex, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Now, let me move on to my first point, which is the propaganda war, ladies and gentlemen. How actually countries like United States, they're actually fighting for the support of the civilians, ladies and gentlemen. The war in Afghanistan has been lasting for over 9 years, but it has not been resolved. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because the Taliban keeps recruiting and recruiting and recruiting. Why, ladies and gentlemen? It's because of the propaganda war. The civilians actually believe that the Taliban is better for them. And what will happen if we use the money to actually create brothels for prostitutes, ladies and gentlemen, instead of giving food, of giving medical aid, of giving education, to actually let the civilian know that the US is here to help, is actually here to improve their country and not to give sexual fulfillment to the soldiers, ladies and gentlemen. The money can be spent in a better way, ladies and gentlemen, and with the money spent to giving money to the village leaders, to education, medical aid, the country can actually retrieve valuable intelligence that help to defeat the Taliban, ladies and gentlemen. And as we all know, intelligence is a very important part of war, not just sexually charged soldiers. Yes.
So these are our citizens that are constantly facing death, pain, and isolated without no emotional attachment to anyone besides their comrades. Don't you think we owe it to them to protect our own American citizens and their pursuit of some form of happiness?
Yes, we agree that we should protect our own American citizens, and that is why we will not allow them to actually show to these Afghanistan civilians that we are actually that immoral, that we don't want the Afghanistan civilians to turn against us, to actually kill us, to actually pose a danger to American soldiers, ladies and gentlemen. Let me move on to my second point. I'll be talking about productivity in two levels, ladies and gentlemen. First level of productivity is how the soldiers will keep thinking about sex and unable to perform their duties. And second level of productivity is how the soldiers will keep thinking about sex and actually having sex with the prostitutes and have family trouble back home, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, how the soldiers will keep thinking about sex. They are unable to control their sexual desires, and therefore more rape will happen in this small camp. As I mentioned, just now, ladies and gentlemen, they are so focused on this little benefit of a brothel or prostitutes that their sexual desires is highly charged. And as I said before, men need several times of sex in a week to have a healthy sexual mind. So let me move on to the second part of productivity, which is family trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, if the wife knows that the soldier is having sex with prostitutes in Kabul, ladies and gentlemen, don't you think that will constitute a family trouble? And the soldiers will constantly worry, will my wife know about it? What will I do? How do I going to explain to my wife that I'm actually having sex with prostitutes? Don't you think they'll worry about it, and therefore their productivity will increase while aiming for Taliban fighters, for example? Wait, I'm thinking about my wife. Boom, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a decrease on productivity. We do not want this to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, I as an opposition strongly oppose, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.